A very good evening and a warm welcome to the Uganda Catholic Television. I am Sunday Gloria Aboch and it's a Wednesday edition of Uctv News, and straight into the bulletin. The National Unity Platform Party is set to appeal a ruling by Justice Esther Nambayo of the High Court, who dismissed a case filed by NUP lawyers led by Counsel George Musisi seeking accountability for 18 missing persons allegedly abducted by security personnel. In a judgment delivered via email, Justice Nambayo ruled that the NUP team failed to provide sufficient evidence to prove the missing individuals were in the custody of security forces.
We asked court to order government to account for these people because for two reasons. One, government has a duty to account for every person who is within the borders of Uganda, whether that person is in prison, whether that person is kidnapped by a mafia group within the state. Government has a duty to account. That duty, court did not address it. We know previously we had the Minister of Internal Affairs saying in Parliament that some of these people could have exited the country. Government is not supposed to speculate, and we thought that court would compel government to account. Fortunately, court did not say that these people have never existed. We all agree, like government agrees, that these people have never existed. The Attorney General, in reply, relied on different police officers who said that these people have never been in the registers of any police station. We all know that when our people, or all Ugandans, are abducted and taken in ungazetted places, like the several hundreds that we've been able to rescue in the last couple of years, none of them is registered in the police station. It's only the police and prisons who keep registers. All other facilities don't keep registers. In fact, many times they are put through police for purposes of sanitizing the exit. Secondly, these people, the relatives you see here, all describe to court the manner in which their loved ones were arrested, which is the same manner in which all the others, including those that you know, like Achileo, who was released recently, have been arrested by people in civilian wear, holding guns, driving cars which are many times not government cars. Sometimes they don't even have number plates. In some cases, these people were arrested with other people, like Damulida, who was arrested with the son, who was released. I think even Lukwago Martin was arrested with other people who have since been released. So we also put this before court to show that these people were arrested in the same manner like all others have been arrested, some of whom even government has denied before, like the gentleman called Kaiwa Alex. Lawyers came to court, government lawyers, and said he's not in our custody, and 2 months later was released from said custody. So court dismissed their case on one ground, saying that one, the relatives you see here did not prove that these people have ever been in state custody. We thought that that was a failure of duty, because there was one question which court left hanging. If these Ugandans cannot get an answer from court, if government cannot account for where their loved ones are, who should answer? That's a question that court left for us, that left for the people who went to court. And we all know that court should give every person who goes before it a remedy. So if these people have ever existed, if Rukwago, Angolo, Damulida, Kanata have ever existed, who should account for them?
John Damulida, who went missing in 21st November 2020. My brother John was abducted from Seka Market at around 12. Everybody was, it was daytime, everybody was around, everybody witnessed armed men with masks and guns abducting my brother. I wonder how the Judge Ambayo decided to give us a bad ruling like that one. How can you say that there's no evidence? How can you get evidence coming here to people with guns? Everybody had to run away. So that ruling was very, very, very bad to us. and he has annoyed us. These are his wives, but they are suffering, looking after children. It's very hard. As you know, these days, money is not easy to get. So, I ask the government to bring back our people, and we are not going to give up demanding our people until they bring back our people. Dead or alive, we are not going to stop demanding our people.
To deny people justice and to oppress them further and to sanitize impunity. Because as the world knows, and Council Mosisi has mentioned it, that the Prime Minister of the country, Honorable Nabanja, came out openly and acknowledged that they have Chibalama John Bosco. She mentioned it on national TV. You all are aware that General Museveni, in one of his communications, read out the names of those people abducted. And their loved ones got hope that maybe their people will be presented in a competent court and prosecuted. But that was the last that they heard of them. Also, Government Minister Jeje Odongo presented a list that had those people. Unfortunately, all those were not considered by the court, by the Judge Nambayo, when she was, making that ruling. You all remember that Damulira's son was abducted with a father. For him, he was able to return, and he narrated the whole ordeal. And some of our comrades that were able to return informed us that these people were there, some tortured badly, but all that, the judiciary does not seem to take note of it.
The Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development has called on journalists to take a leading role in combating gender-based violence against women and girls. Speaking at the launch of the Survivor-Centered Approach organized by the Uganda Media Women's Association, UMWA in Kisasi, Richard Kitio, Principal Gender Officer at the Ministry, highlighted the 2014 census data showing that 1 in 3 Ugandan women has experienced violence, a distressing statistic partly attributed to economic hardships. Kitio emphasized that media advocacy is crucial in curbing this escalating crisis.
We've been privileged to be here at Uganda Media Women's Association in Kisasi to launch the best practices for journalists that they will use in their journalism work on violence against women and gender-based violence. The information on gender-based violence has not reached everybody in this country, meaning that there are still gaps on awareness creation from the journalists. The government is doing a lot to prevent violence against women and gender-based violence. For example, government has enacted a number of laws, the Constitution being the supreme law prohibiting all forms of violence. Government enacted the Gender-Based Violence Act in 2010. Government enacted the prohibition of female genital mutilation, yes, as an act, but it has also formulated many laws, many policies to ensure that gender-based violence and violence against women are eliminated in this country. The laws are there, and many players are doing their best, but I think some people are still not aware of the dangers of gender-based violence. They are not working towards eliminating them, especially because of those strong negative social and cultural norms existing in the communities. So those barriers are still there. And then the power imbalances. Power imbalances are really contributing a lot to disable some of the efforts that players are doing to eliminate gender-based violence in the country. So in terms of statistics, according to WUBOS in 27, 1 out of 3 women between the ages of 15 to 49 has experienced some form of gender-based violence, at least once in her lifetime. But also government through the national, through the NPC, National Population Council, conducted a survey on gender-based violence in the refugee settlements in Uganda, and the results were glaring. The report was released in August this year, 2024. There are also GBV cases in refugee settlements. So much as we have GBV in other areas, but also settlements are also witnessing some forms of gender-based violence.
We have to try to encourage them to walk in the shoes of this violated woman, to become more empathetic. Because writing a story about GBV or gender-based violence, or about a woman who has been raped, for example, a girl who has been defiled, is not like any other. This person is going through a lot of trauma. She's scared, and she's actually, her trust has been betrayed by the people that she knows. So the survivors-centered approach is looking or aims at ensuring that the journalists become a little bit more human and walk in the shoes of this particular survivor, understand her situation, try to source beyond the police statements that we get from Uganda police. It is not about police statements from the crime department, but what about other people who are found within the referral systems? Have we talked to organizations that support such victims? Have we tried to link them to maybe the medical center? Have we tried to tell them that, you know, now that you have been raped, it is very important for you to go for medical examination already, and also take first aid. So we think that this approach, the survivor-centered approach, will help not only the journalists, but to everybody who is in the field of speaking to other people, to broaden their eyes and bring the survivor at the center of the story. Because the survivor is a key new subject, and yet many times we don't even hear her voice.
The Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development has called on journalists to take a leading role in combating gender-based violence, GBV, against women and girls. Speaking at the launch of a survivor-centered approach organized by the Uganda Media Women's Association UMWA in Kisasi, Richard Kitio, the principal gender officer at the ministry, highlighted the 2014 census data showing that 1 in 3 Ugandan women has experienced violence, a distressing statistic partly attributed to economic hardships. Kitio emphasized that media advocacy is crucial in curbing this escalating crisis.
Solid waste of waste management in the city, and we have a comprehensive work plan on how we are going to handle it. First of all, we launched a campaign for solid waste management in the city, where we're identifying all illegal dump sites and clearing them, where we have mass mobilization. We have teams in every division moving door to door, encouraging sorting at source and linking them to the people who can get the recyclable and also teaching them the R's, the 3 R's. We are just reducing them to 3. That is reduce, recycle, reuse, concept of improved sanitation practices. But the main thing is encouraging sorting at source. So we have a number of messages we've developed, and we want to have a campaign. We are implementing a campaign on social behavior change, because we've realized that it's an issue of behavior change, and behavior change takes a while. So we are increasing awareness among the residents of Kampala regarding those practices, and we are encouraging as much as possible so that we sort at source. And moving forward, when we've given enough information, we are going to only transport the waste that you cannot dispose of. But all the recyclables we are linking with the stakeholders to take such recyclables. Also calling upon the public to report any unhygienic conditions, any unhygienic practices down in the community or in our city, because we have to keep the Kampala city clean. So where we have unbroken pipes, where we have sewage leakages, please let us know on our call center or even on our website. We have bad practices like releasing of sewage, especially when it rains. Like today, this morning, there was an institution that was releasing sewage within the community. We went there, we confirmed, and we've arrested the culprits. So we call upon the community to collaborate with us, and we should take it as our responsibility to have a clean environment, to live in a healthy environment. So let us know on any issues that we can handle, and we work together.
And with that, we do appreciate your time. You're watching the Uganda Catholic Television. Uctv News takes a break.
UCTV, good news for all.
Welcome to Seeds of Success. My name is Rwanga Godfrey. Seeds of Success, we talk about business environment.
If you want to be a millionaire, work for money, but billionaires work for wealth.
Social affairs.
Whom to blame via characters and talents? Is it tertiary institutions or humanity within the human beings?
And other topical issues. Don't miss on UCTV, good news for all.
And now, Kampala Capital City Authority has issued a strong warning against dumping garbage and waste in trenches, along roadsides and in ungazetted areas. This announcement was made during a journalist orientation on sanitation in the city, organized by KCCA to raise awareness about responsible waste management. Now, the acting director of public health at KCCA, Dr. Sarah Zalwango, while addressing media at the City Hall, emphasized that Kampala's reputation as a dirty city is due to careless waste disposal practices, which must be brought to an end for a cleaner and healthier city.
The Sustainable Development Goals represents a universal call to action, emphasizing that no one should be left behind. I think on this, in Uganda, we had a group of people that had been left behind, and by including them in the wealth creation program, that is the PDM, we had a group of 39% Ugandans who were being left behind. But by including them on the PDM program, I'm seeing that we are implementing goal 1, we have goal 5, we have goal 2, we have goal 10, and I think many others with the PDM model. So as we do this, I want to say that Uganda has been at the forefront of SDG adoption and implementation since 2015. And I'm proud to say that we are making steady progress towards these goals, ambitions. We are committed to SDG that resonate deeply with the Uganda's development priorities, especially environmental sustainability, renewable energy, biodiversity, conservation, and climate resilience. Uganda has integrated the SDGs into National Development Plan 3, which will soon transition to NDP 4, setting ambitious targets for climate change, ecosystem restoration, and green growth.
Today we joined the Go Green youth and also the NBS media service for an important cause. A cause where we're promoting the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly looking at climate actions and how these actions in climate change will and can impact the Sustainable Development Goals as a whole. We know that we are facing a climate crisis, that the temperature is expected to increase beyond the tipping point. And unless we do something now to address the climate crisis, we, particularly in countries like Uganda, where the economy and the development is sensitive to climate, we are facing greater challenges that will impact not only food and nutrition security, but as well other development partners.
Youth Go Green has been leading a movement of young people across Uganda to participate in environmental sustainability activities, but also advancing climate action. But this came as we realized that there have been the people, the citizens have been challenged with many adverse effects of climate change. And I remember myself as a team leader, one time I was watching a story on one of the national televisions, and I saw how graders were picking dead bodies that had been buried by mud. Now that story on TV touched me a lot, and I was really inspired and motivated to look out and mobilize my fellow young people across the country to ensure that we have a strong voice and to mobilize and sensitize our colleagues. So for me, it was that motivating story that we needed to take action against the climate, climate crisis. And so as we speak right now, our movement is big. We have a membership of close to 2 million youth, 2 million young people. The run comes as one of the resolutions when we had our first African Conference of Youth on Climate Change and SDGs. And one of the engagements we had, resolutions that we had, was to launch an SDG run that we'll do every year. And in 2017, we launched our first run. And so quite a number of youth have been involved. Many young people have been involved. This has been a youth-led run, actually, and we appreciate that they have been participating in the run. So this year, we are running under Goal 17 partnerships for the goals, and that's why we want to have everybody. We are not leaving anyone behind, including children and the elderly, to be part of this run. And this run has a very specific focus, and this focus is on supporting the restoration of Uganda's forest landscapes. And on that note, we want to have a target to establish regional nursery beds to raise 20 million trees across Uganda. So the run will be focusing on that, and whichever proceeds we get from the run, we'll be happy to work with government entities like Forest Authority to establish and have these activities. The run will happen on the 1st of December 2024. And of course, it will happen take place at Gogo Cricket Oval. We expect His Excellency the President to officially flag off the run, but also to speak to the public, to the people, on how to sustainably manage the environment. But also, the run is targeting about 50,000 people, and we'll be happy that we encourage all of you, especially our dear viewers of CTV, please be part of this, promote the run. It's for a cause. We are running for partnerships. In other words, we are not leaving you behind. Whoever is doing anything on each SDG will be happy to work with you.
The Uganda People's Congress Party has joined the widespread protest against government's plan to rationalize the Uganda Coffee Development Authority (UCDA). In an exclusive interview with the Uganda Catholic Secretariat, the party spokesperson Sharon Ayat Orach urged Ugandans to resist the elimination of vital public parastatals in line with the ideology of former President Milton Obote, which supports the preservation of essential national institutions.
Many Ugandans are benefiting from cotton. They started by bringing it, by registering the coffee farmers. They thought it was a positive thing. But at the end of the day, they wanted to see how many people are venturing into the business and how much money can they get out of it. So by putting it into the ministry, government is trying to privatize the coffee sector to bring it back to the middleman, whereby the middlemen go and determine the price of coffee from the farms. Not from the authority, but from the farm. So this is what people are fighting, because once that comes, it is going to be what happened to maize, it is going to come to what happened to other cash crops that Uganda was benefiting from. So as UPC, we are saying no, the Uganda Coffee Development Authority should remain as an independent entity and not integrated into the Ministry of Agriculture. These are the things that we have come saying, that it should stop the prioritization of investors vis-a-vis the local producers, and these are the things that we have come to say and say it must stop. We need to prioritize the aspect of Ugandans. UPC is very much concerned with the economic direction Uganda is taking. The Uganda Development Corporation, that was established by the British colonial government in 1952 and expanded to post-independence government to speed up the industrialization of Uganda, got a total setback with the NRM government and sold off the industries it owned. The new UDC has been re-established and totally limping with limited assets. His Excellency Apollo Minto was saying, let us empower our people to be able to stand by what they believe in. And right now, many Ugandans have demonstrated that they believe that the Uganda Coffee Development Authority is able and is capable of taking care of coffee farmers and also increase their income by what they are doing right now, rather than it being integrated into the system. He went ahead and added, he said, the whole of Uganda must stand up for the defense of each and every parastatal body and prevent anyone of them from being slaughtered by the greatest enemies of the public, who will in turn hold the public at ransom and dictate any price of the goods they may decide to make available into the Ugandan market.
And thank you very much for watching the Uganda Catholic Television. We are going to take a break, and when we return, it will be time for the Rome Reports.
UCTV, good news for all.
You are watching UCTV, good news for all. For this and more, tune in to Kasese Get Radio 100.5 in Western Region, located at the hill of the Diocese of Kasese. KGR brings you all Catholic programs and an advertising platform in all our radio shows like Good Morning Renzori, Chama Towoka, Ukute, the Business Show, Propeller, the Request Show and Sports, Evaluation by Hingaba Kuluka, Late Night Show, and many others. Our other services include Isuzu Tipa, a Noah car, public address system, live band, Omokekera, an audio recording studio, and outside live broadcast. For more information, call 0773-597-166 or visit our website www.kasesegatradio.com. Kasesegat Radio, Omusondoria, the voice of truth.
UCTV, good news for all.
That's all we had for you this Wednesday evening. I am Sunday Gloria Aboch. Do stay tuned to the Uganda Catholic Television. UCTV News will return tomorrow, same time, same place.